Williams sprinting over on the move.
Well, this is an interesting week. We're going to see it in a moment's time because we've got a lot of divisional matchups to deal with, and we see a few changing of places going on.
And even if you stay within the divisions, everything is still, it's totally unpredictable. I mean, that's been the theme all season, and it isn't stopping now. I mean, it makes us would-be pundits look pretty stupid week in and week out.
That's right, predictions all the way down the line until the following week when we can change them.
Absolutely.
Well, there's one thing we do know. The league has two 100%ers. There's the completely winless Browns, but of course there's the all-winning St. Louis team, and they're in Atlanta.
The really real Rams rolled rapidly through Georgia. Isaac Bruce from Kurt Warner, and Bruce throws a nice slider off the wall. Last week he was fined $2,500 for throwing one into the crowd. Marshall Faulk made it 14-0 with a 6-yard touchdown on his way to his biggest game as a Ram. And Faulk says to Roland Williams, "It's your throw, Ro." Then the dancing starts. Chris Chandler was back, and he found Bob Christian to cut the lead to 14-7. But then Tony Horn did it again, just like last week. He took the ensuing kickoff back all the way, 101 yards this time, to put the Rams' margin back to 2 touchdowns. 2 kickoff returns in 2 weeks for Tony Horn. Atlanta was driving late in the first half until Mike Jones deflected a Chandler pass. Grant Wistrom pulled it in. He's actually separating from Chris Callaway. How does he do that? And Todd Light makes sure he doesn't get lost by pointing the way to the end zone. It's over there, Grant. More silly dancing follows. It was 28-7 at the half. 41-13, the final score. Only 1 touchdown pass for Warner. Chris Chandler left with flu symptoms. A great day for Marshall Faulk. Atlanta only 46 yards rushing. The only other team with a perfect record, the 0-5 Browns, were in Jacksonville, and Tim Couch found Terry Kirby to give the Browns a 7-3 lead. But then Jay Fiedler, formerly of Amsterdam and very briefly a London Monarch, replaced the injured Mark Brunell, and Fiedler hit Kyle Brady to put Jacksonville up 14-7 in the 3rd quarter. Then James Stewart's 4th quarter touchdown run helped the Jags on their way to a 24-7 win. A nice day for Tim Couch, but look at the line from Jay Fiedler, who's so obscure he makes Kurt Warner look like Joe Namath by comparison.
So Jacksonville win again. They were meant to win because we said they were going to be good at the start of the season. Cleveland could win, though, couldn't they, occasionally? Would it be nice?
It would be nice if they won once during the year, but I doubt if it's going to be against St. Louis next week in that matchup.
Oh, dear.
The Rams are starting to look like the Vikings did last year. You know, new offensive coordinator Mike Martz is just their offense is wide open, and we had Isaac Bruce saying last week we don't have a wuss for an offensive coordinator any longer. But the other interesting thing from Jacksonville's point of view is Jonathan Quinn was last year their backup quarterback, and they've had great luck with backups to Brunell over the years. Rob Johnson was one. And Quinn has disappeared. He's down to number 3. And Jay Fiedler, who is a journeyman, I mean, when you look up journeyman in the dictionary, you see Jay Fiedler's picture with his big ears sitting out there, just looked great. And that's Tom Coughlin's coaching, not Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator from last year. And I'm really impressed by that because, I mean, I watched Jay Fiedler in Amsterdam, and, you know, there wasn't much to watch.
Yeah. Atlanta, I mean, you know, they're not the team they were, but they're no mugs. Are St. Louis actually beginning to believe their own hype here, do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it must be a self-fulfilling prophecy at a certain point.
It is, and you know, everything is going right. They got a touchdown from their defense. They got a touchdown on special teams. Warner didn't have to pass. They did a lot on the ground, 180 yards rushing for Marshall Faulk. They're really doing it on all cylinders.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that there was several games being played over the weekend that were crucial divisional matchups. Here they are for you.
In a key AFC East matchup, Dan Marino's first completion put him over 60,000 career passing yards. I make that 51 miles. But Marino's longest completion of the day went to Patriots rookie linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer, who returned it 57 yards for a touchdown. No dancing, just a 7-0 Patriot lead. And Marino goes over and says to Jimmy Johnson, "You're right, coach, I stink." It turned out Marino had a shoulder injury, so in came Damon Heward, new quarterback, same result. Ty Law picked off his first pass and went 27 yards for a 14-0 Patriot lead. A tough start for the former Frankfurt Galaxy quarterback, but after 2 Olindo Mare field goals, Heward scrambled and found touchdown Tony Martin open deep. The play went 69 yards, and it was 14-13. Patriots up by 1. Just before halftime, Drew Bledsoe finally found a New England receiver open. He hits Tony Simmons for a 29-yard touchdown. But 20 seconds later, Olindo Mare's 4th field goal of the half made it 24-19. Then Mare's 6th field goal of the game from 53 yards out brought Miami within 5 with less than 3 minutes to play in the game. Damon Heward capped off a 14-play drive with a 5-yard touchdown to Stanley Pritchard with 23 seconds left to give Miami a 1-point win. And Heward had a big day despite being sacked 9 times. The key stat, though, no catches for Terry Glenn. He was shut out completely by Sam Madison. Still in the AFC East, Ray Lucas was the surprise starter at quarterback for the Jets. As Norman Chad says, there's now 6 billion people on Earth, and Rick Meyer can't find one of them open. Lucas to Richie Anderson gave New York a 13-0 lead over the Colts, but Peyton Manning hit Terrence Wilkins from 22 to bring the Colts within 6 at the half. With the game tied late in the 4th quarter, Jeff Burris intercepts a Lucas pass and returns it 55 yards. Lucas tries to stop him and can't, and Lucas loves grabbing his helmet. It means something good happened, it means something bad happened. Burris's pick set up Mike Vanderjag for a 27-yard field goal with 14 seconds left. The Colts win 16-13. Lucas still looking for that helmet. And Lucas had a pretty good day, but only completed short passes. Curtis Martin and Edgerrin James both over 100-yard rushing. Victor Green, 9 tackles and an interception. In the AFC Central, Cordell Stewart found out what so many other quarterbacks have discovered: the Bengals can make you look good. He hit Troy Edwards on 3rd and 7 to set up Jerome Bettis for his first TD in the 1st quarter. Then Bettis went over from 5 yards out for a 14-3 halftime lead. And after 30 minutes more of agony, the Steelers dealt Cincinnati a 17-3 defeat. Bettis over 100 yards rushing was the key to this one. 2 interceptions of Achilles Smith, one by defensive end Orpheus Rowe. In San Diego, the AFC West showdown between the Chargers and Seahawks was a misfire. Darrell Lewis again turned in a key interception. This pick off John Kitna set up a 5-yard touchdown run by Natron Means and a 7-3 halftime lead for San Diego. In the 3rd quarter, Brian Walker picked off Eric Kramer and put Seattle in position to reclaim the lead. Watch the karate chop tackle by number 41, Terrell Fletcher. John Kitna rolled out, find Itula Mili for a short TD to make it 10-7 Seattle, but the lead was short-lived. Kramer hit Jeff Graham for 41 yards to set up the game-tying field goal. And after that, John Carney hit a 41-yard field goal on the last play of the game to give the Chargers a 13-10 win. 24 games in a row, San Diego hasn't allowed 100 yards rusher. Seattle lost despite holding San Diego to 49 yards rushing and intercepting Eric Kramer 4 times. In Arizona, Champ Bailey returned the first of his 3 interceptions, 59 yards for a touchdown, and a 10-3 lead at halftime for the Redskins in an NFC East clash. Brad Johnson tossed a 1-yard touchdown pass to Steven Alexander to up the lead to 17-3 in the 3rd quarter. Jake Plummer fractured his right ring finger on a face mask, so downtown Dave Brown came in to hit Rob Moore for a 10-yard touchdown. But Skip Hicks' 14-yard touchdown run gave the Skins a 24-10 win. Jake Plummer's injury means he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Bailey's 3 picks, 2 of them came off Plummer, 1 off of Brown. Brad Johnson threw 2 picks himself. In the crazy NFC Central, Randall Cunningham was picked off by Tony Fair, who went 41 yards to give the hometown Lions a 7-0 lead. Detroit upped the lead to 19-0 at the half, but Jeff George replaced Randall Cunningham and led a comeback with a touchdown pass to Chris Carter of 17 yards. And then another one to Randy Moss, this one for 36 yards, which cut Detroit's lead to 5. And Jeff George says, "I'm talking to you, Randall Cunningham." George then hit Jake Reed. Reed does a little split, and a 23-yard gain puts the Vikings in position to take the lead for the first time. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Leroy Horde lugged it in, and the Vikings led 20-19. But then with 12 seconds left and Minnesota still up by 1, Jason Hansen hit a 48-yard field goal, his 6th of the game, and the Lions go out winners by 2. Gus Frerotte replaced Charlie Batch, who bruised a tricep on his throwing arm. Greg Hill and Ron Rivers combined for 112 yards rushing for the Lions. George Seifert returned to San Francisco with the Carolina Panthers, but R.W. McWhorter's interception return set up Wade Ritchie's second field goal and a 6-0 first quarter lead for the 49ers. Oh, I stepped out of bounds. The Panthers took a 10-9 lead when Steve Berline hit Patrick Jeffers underneath for a 7-yard touchdown. Then last week's GOAT, Darrell Walker, picked off Berline and returned it 27 yards for a touchdown. Watch Walker cut back and make Patrick Jeffers miss on his way to a 16-10 San Francisco lead. Whoops. 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 Michael Bates brought the ensuing kickoff back 72 yards to set the Panthers up yet again. Great bit of running from Bates. Wade Ritchie misses a chance at the tackle, and it's Darrell Walker who makes the touchdown-saving stop. Then Berline found Mushin Muhammad, who makes a great catch to give the Panthers a 17-16 lead. Then former 49er Wesley Walls capped off a 24-point second quarter with a 25-yard touchdown from Berline. Panthers lead 24-16 at the half. Berline threw his career-high 4th touchdown of the game, this one again to Jeffers over Mark McMillan. That put Carolina up 31-16. But McMillan gets his revenge. He picks up a fumble by Tim Biakabatuka. Berline misses the tackle, and McMillan's in for the touchdown. Jeff Garcia and Jerry Rice brought the Niners within 2 with a minute 30 seconds left, but Garcia got stuffed on the conversion. He rolls out, he gets trapped. There's nobody to throw to except center Ben Lynch, and that's not going to work. And George Seifert gets sweet revenge against his old team, 31-29. A big day for Steve Berline, as we said, career high, 4 touchdowns.
So that's a series of tight scores in those matchups there, I suppose, which reflects the importance of those games,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Absolutely, and the sort of balance that we've got in the league, the dread parity, you know, and quarterbacks going left, right, and center. Marino goes for the man on the flying trapezius, goes for a MRI today, so we'll know where he stands later on in the week. Jeff George could well replace Randall Cunningham for the Vikings.
And San Francisco, who got, who couldn't quite manage it, and they couldn't quite manage it without Steve Young, and that could be the story for another game yet.
And Terrell Owens wasn't playing as well. Obviously Garrison Hurst is already gone, and Young is supposedly he's going to miss another week too. They're just really worried that if he ever takes another shot, he's going to be gaga for the rest of his life. Yeah,
we'll look at the Sands in the second half of the program, but Seattle and San Diego, that was a genuine big clash for both those teams at the stage,
and San Diego's doing it all with defense. Junior Seau had about 12 tackles in that game. It's almost hard to believe that they're doing that well. They've really held teams down, and their offense has just done enough to win week in and week out. The other interesting thing from Miami is they gave the game ball to Paul Boudreau, even though they allowed 9 sacks. They were without Richmond Webb and Mark Dixon. Paul Boudreau was the Patriots line coach last year. They fired him. He was their scapegoat, and Jimmy Johnson hired him, gave him the game ball after that win.
It's just finished on the quarterbacks as well. We're seeing the Jets disappearing in a ever-decreasing circle.
And that was a strange one because no one expected Ray Lucas to be starting a quarterback, and you got to figure Bill Parcells did it for the surprise factor. And Lucas can do things, but he doesn't really have that good an arm, as you saw. I mean, he completed, I think it was 16 of 30, but it was only for 137 yards. And I really doubt if he'll be back next week, although I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Tupa's in. I mean, Tupa doesn't do anything really great, but he also doesn't do anything badly, and he's a leader. You know, he's always played well when he's had to, and it looks like Parcells may have given up on Rick Meyer.
Yeah, it's basically pulling a stool now for him at the moment. He's desperate. It's simple as that, really. And there's a kicking record that we shouldn't ignore, really.
The Molindo Mare with 4 field goals in a row for about 150 games in a row, which tells you basically that Miami's offense isn't really clicking yet on all cylinders, although every time Tony Martin goes over 100 yards receiving, they seem to win.
Absolutely. OK, more Week 6 coming out for you after the break. Also, our preview of Game of the Week. And, of course, when we come back, we'll have loads of action for you. But we're off to that break now, while the NFL, that's off to the birds.
Hey, ref, what kind of call was that?
It was a duck call.
What?
Yeah, a mallard, a green-billed fairy feather.
What the heck is the matter with you? Do you have any idea what you're doing? Have you completely lost your mind?
I've got it under control.
I don't think you do. That was a terrible call. The green-billed fairy feather is a West Coast bird.
No.
Don't tell me no. I know for a fact they fly south for the winter.
No, they fly north for the summer.
They live in the swamps.
No, they live in the city.
Oh, look, when I was a kid, my dad used to take me down to the swamps. We couldn't afford a decoy, so we'd dress up like ducks and we'd spread our wings. They never knew the difference.
Those weren't ducks.
What are you talking about?
Those were penguins.
No.
Big penguins.
Come on.
City penguins.
Oh, you don't know ducks.
Oh, I don't, huh?
Like, I suppose a duck's out of the question.
You put it on my bill. Whack, whack.
Now I'm close enough. I'm close enough. Close enough to kiss. Close enough to touch.
If you can find a better anti-dandruff shampoo, we'll give you your money back. Just phone 0800 448 810.
Close enough to kiss.
Woo! I actually got in.
You broke into personnel.
Yeah, these are salaries of every person in the company.
Look, this senior VP makes about half as much as this senior VP. I bet he doesn't know that.
Sure he does. I just emailed everybody in the company.
Have you seen the new logo on the label of the 1-litre bottle of Sunraysia prune juice? It's the logo of the Cancer Research Campaign. Sunraysia prune juice is made from Australia's finest prunes and tastes delicious, and just one serving is an excellent source of dietary fibre and vitamin C. Sunraysia will donate 15 pence per litre bottle of Sunraysia prune juice to the Cancer Research Campaign.
Have you or any member of your family had an accident in the last 3 years, suffered lost earnings, incurred medical bills, or paid any out-of-pocket expenses resulting from an accident? If yes, then speak to Claims Direct now to find out if you're entitled to compensation. We're personal injury specialists, dedicated to helping victims of accidents that required medical attention in the last 3 years. At work, as the driver or passenger in a road accident, or trip or fall anywhere. Right now, Claims Direct are handling compensation claims for accident victims worth an estimated £60 million. Our personal injury specialist helped Mrs. Bartram after her accident. She got £10,000. Mr. Barrett called Claims Direct after his accident at work. He got £20,000. And the good news is Claims Direct underwrites the total cost of making your claim. If we're not successful, you don't pay us a penny. Remember, this could be the most important call you make today. Phone Claims Direct free on 0800 44 8863. Call now.
You guys kill me. You take a delicious Oriental infusion and dump cow juice into it. You get more rain in a year than Borneo. Yet the minute it stops, they hit you with a hose pipe ban. You sunbathe in your clothes. You invent a sport that no one understands, and the whole world still whips you at it. And your most popular dish is curry. Nowadays, even your civil wars are civilized. Small country, isn't it?
Sorry?
When it comes to sex, we all know what you prefer, but you must be doing something right. Because 17 million of us, Johnny Foreigners, would rather fly your airline than any of our own. I guess you should be proud of that. But that wouldn't be very British, would it? Sorry.
Welcome back. More Week 6 action for you in a moment's time, plus our Game of the Week preview. But as well, you know, here on Channel 5, we bring you the baseball. Tomorrow night, there is more playoff action. But then, on Saturday...
2 down, bases loaded. Martinez, deep to right field. It's a great postseason. A grand slam home run. Brocious, center field, got a lot of it. Finley back, 405. Goodbye, home run. Unbelievable. Scott Brocious swung on to third base. Scott Brocious, probable MVP. The Yankees are the world champions.
Yes, indeed, it is the World Series. It starts Saturday night. Hey, the Yankees could be there after this evening. They could get through. Yeah, there you go. You know it makes sense. You know it does. This one can still go till Thursday night, but Saturday, guarantee Game 1 for you here live on 5, starting at 12:30. That's midnight on Saturday. Looking forward to that one big time. Could be my lot, could be his lot. Could be very exciting indeed, I tell you. OK, still got plenty of excitement from Week 6 for you now, starting with a rematch of Super Bowl 32.
In America, Sports Illustrated magazine already declared Denver's season over, but someone forgot to tell the Broncos. They got off to another slow start, and after Brian Williams intercepted a Brian Griese pass and returned it to set up a 50-yard Ryan Longwell field goal, the game was tied at 3 at the half. But Ed McCaffrey took a 10-yard pass from Griese to put Denver up 10-3 in the third quarter. Brett Favre struck back with a 54-yard pass to Corey Bradford. What a catch by Bradford, and that set up a Dorsey Levens touchdown, which was made by a block from number 70, former Scottish Claymore Joe Andruzzi. That made it 10-10. Then Griese scrambled and found McCaffrey again, this time for 78 yards to give Denver the lead. Remember, Ed, your season's supposed to be over. Why bother to try? Oh, and kick him when he's down. With the lead 24-10, Griese tossed a little shovel pass to Byron Chamberlain, and the former Rhine Fire tight end went 88 yards to set up the touchdown that sealed the game. They're having a lot of trouble tackling in the secondary, but Chamberlain goes down just short of the goal line. Brian Griese gets the touchdown on a quarterback draw. That makes it 31-10. That's how it finished. Dorsey Levens only 12-yard rushing on 10 carries. Favre's worst day in years. Olandis Gary, the rookie, 124 yards on the ground. Oakland was welcomed to Buffalo, but Darian Gordon welcomed Doug Flutie with an interception of his first pass on the first play of the game. And that set up Tyrone Wheatley to run in a touchdown from 3 yards out and give the Raiders a quick 7-0 lead. Antoine Smith had the answer for Wheatley. He ran 52 yards, and that tied the score up at 7-7. Put the shoulder down and watch him go. But Wheatley's second touchdown of the day put Oakland up 20-7 in the third quarter. Doug Flutie found Eric Moulds for a 12-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, but that wasn't enough. Smith had only 5 yards rushing on his other 4 carries for the day. The Bills lost Moulds, John Holacek, and Reuben Brown to injuries. Tennessee at New Orleans. Is this the NFL or the SEC? Billy Joe Tolliver to Scott Slutzker, 2 household names combining to put the Saints up 10-0. But then Neal to Neal, O'Donnell to Lorenzo Neal brought the Titans within 3. Then Neal O'Donnell hit Kevin Dyson, and Tennessee had the lead by 1. Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge, and Donald Mitchell's 42-yard interception return put Tennessee up by 11, 24-13. Billy Joe Tolliver hit Lamar Smith from 4 yards out for 1 touchdown, but the Saints went out losers by 3. And it was a big day for Eddie George rushing. A bad day for Ricky Williams, 17 carries for 35 yards. Billy Joe Tolliver, 354 yards passing in vain. In Chicago, Air Peterson was flying for the Eagles. A 57-yard pass to Dietrich Gels put Philly up 7-3. Then Peterson to Luther Broughton made it 17-6 Eagles. What's going on in Philadelphia? Troy Vincent intercepted a Cade McNown pass, and that led to a field goal by Norm Johnson. McNown getting his first start. And Johnson's field goal gave the Eagles a 20-6 lead at the half. McNown got the offense into gear in the second half. He found the former NFL Europe Most Valuable Player Marcus Robinson on an 80-yard touchdown to cut the lead to 1 score, but Philly hung on to win 20-16. That's Philadelphia's first win in Chicago since 1939, when the Bears were still playing at Wrigley Field and Mark Webster was running around in short pants. Deuce Staley, another 100-yard game rushing for the Eagles. And in the standings, the AFC East is looking pretty much like we thought it would at the beginning of the season, except for the New York Jets down there at 1-5. In the AFC Central, Jacksonville, look at that. They've only allowed 59 points all season. That's the best in the league. They and Tennessee are tied at the top. In the AFC West, San Diego's on top. Is Mike Riley the Rich Brooks of 1999, or can San Diego go all the way? Denver now with 2 wins. In the NFC East, Dallas and the Giants are our matchup tomorrow. Dallas has allowed only 62 points. The Giants have only scored 71, and the Red Hot Eagles go to Miami. Sunday was a fun day for Trent Dilfer. No interceptions, no fumbles. Of course, he had no game on Sunday. He did drop his wife's macaroni salad at lunch, though. And in the NFC West, the St. Louis Rams are for real. They've scored more points than anybody in the league, 183. They've only allowed 60. The 49ers have allowed 167 points, and only Cincinnati have allowed more points than that. And as we said many times tonight, the Rams meet the Browns next week, 5-0 versus 0-6.
And there's no truth in rumours that Dilfer will be replaced at his next Sunday lunch, is there? I think he's going to retain his slot, isn't he?
He's got to be in. Well,
yeah.
He might have a game on Sunday, so he might not get lunch.
He might, yeah, exactly. And he'll never get the job back after that, then, will he? Now, as you say, we've got the Dallas and Giants both from the NFC East, and that's a nice, tight little matchup. As I say, that we saw at the start there, lots of divisional matchups, and it's shaping up the league nicely for us now, isn't it?
Really is. And like as I said, I like this season so far because you just can't predict anything. I mean, except maybe that Cleveland's not going to beat St. Louis.
Yes, we can go along with that one. And Denver did very nicely. I mean, you know, the fact, as you mentioned there, Sports Illustrated have killed them off already.
It's like the SI jinx, you know, it always works, and then the team comes on and does well. And what I really liked about Denver was seeing Byron Chamberlain do well, because he was a guy I liked a lot when we had him in Europe. Now, Byron Chamberlain's the tight end. He's lined up in the backfield on this play and on the side. And now watch, because there's 9 guys up for Green Bay, and Leroy Butler's going to blitz, and up here McKenzie, the cornerback, they're both going to come on the blitz. And watch what Denver's 2 guards do, Neal and Schlereth, because that's the key to making this play work. Now here you see it. They're going to come on the blitz. You don't know which guys, but there they come, and freeze it right there. And you see what's happened now is there's the shovel pass going to Chamberlain, so it beats the blitz. And Vonnie Holiday is all tied up there with the pulling guard, Neal, and McGarrigan, the guy who's got the man-on-man coverage with Chamberlain. Schlereth has come off his block. He's going to block McGarrigan right there, and that's going to give Chamberlain that route to get by. See, Vonnie Holiday doesn't even see Chamberlain's got the ball. He runs right by him. McGarrigan can't make the tackle. Chamberlain's off on his own now. And Darren Sharper, number 42, had just a horrible day in the secondary trying to tackle. Remember, he's the guy that Ed McCaffrey kicked when he was down. He just can't make a tackle out there. And Byron Chamberlain's really going to regret not getting a touchdown on that one, I'm sure.
Exactly, that's right. He was virtually there, wasn't he? They say Chamberlain, for a Euro star, going like a train as well. Did very nicely indeed. Is that the way they're going to have to do it? Because, of course, you know, they said at the start of the season this was going to be a league where quarterbacks were so important. Because they've lost their big guy, they need another game.
Well, Mike Shanahan eventually maybe proved right that Brian Griese can actually run this offense. You know, and it's merely a question, I think, of getting the team confident in him. They know Bobby Brister's hurt right now. He can't play, so they have to go with Griese. Maybe that's what it took.
Absolutely. Well, the Giants can catch Dallas in the wins column in the NFC East. Well, and that's going to be our game of the week tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's really tough because Dallas is without Michael Irvin, and that makes it tough for their offense. But basically, the Giants have no offense at all, and Dallas's defense has been really tough. Deion Sanders is back, and ever since Deion came back, nobody's been able to pass much against the Giants. And of course, when we get Deion on Monday Night Football, anything can happen. Punt returns, interception returns. I mean, he just had a great year on Monday Night Football last year.
And he could be very adaptable as well, couldn't he? We may not just see him playing defense.
Well, that's a good point because Michael Irvin's out, and Deion might be the best wide receiver they've got. And you know, and he's played it before. There's no reason why he can't do it again. So, so you know, if Deion does that, you know, it's not gonna hurt them at all. But Norman Chad talked about the Giants' offense is looking like an ant trying to get a crumb up his back going to the anthill, and they're probably going to start Kent Graham at quarterback over Kerry Collins again.
The veteran who didn't necessarily think he was going to be playing so much, isn't he?
And Jim Fossil likes Graham because Graham's tough, basically, and he'll stand in there. He does have a pretty good arm, but basically the Giants haven't been able to generate any offense at all. They've got two good receivers, so you can't really figure out what's going wrong, but you know, it's driving Jim Fossil crazy.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if we can get it a bit more sanity going tomorrow. We're back at the Giants Stadium for our game of the week. It is the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys.
You, me, and Jimmy Hoffa.
Weren't too attractive for the home team last week, was it? Let's see if they can get it right. 12:35. You can join us for a game of the week tomorrow. Make sure you're around. Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Until then, loads of baseball as well. We'll see you tomorrow.